everyone, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of the new action thriller directed by David Ayers, starring Jason Statham, A Working Man. This film is co-written by David Ayers and Sylvester Stallone. You know, David Ayers, he has given us some really fire movies in the past. I don't know what, 20, 30 years. He wrote Training Day. He wrote the very first Fast and the Furious. He also directed some gems as well as Fury. He directed Suicide Squad with Margot Robbie and Will Smith. He directed just this past year, I think last year, Beekeeper with Jason Statham. And Beekeeper was somewhat of a shock. It was a surprise, at least for me. I didn't expect much from it. I thought it was going to be your typical generic action film, which it was, but it was something more to it. You know, I enjoyed that movie for what it was. So when we got this reteaming of Jason Statham and David Ayers in this film, plus, you know, add the little element of Sylvester Stallone writing this screenplay, I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna get something at the very least up to the Beekeeper's status. A Working Man is about Levon Cade, who left his profession behind to work construction and be a good dad to his daughter. But when a local girl vanishes, he's asked to return to the skills that made him this mythical figure in the shadowy world of counterterrorism. Starring alongside of Jason Statham, we have Michael Pena and David Harbour. Uh, this movie, I sat there throughout the first 20 minutes of this film and wondered to myself, why was this released in theaters? You know, this this was this was not a theatrical film. I'll say that much, and that's pretty much the PG way of saying this was not a good movie. This was not a good movie at all. I did not enjoy A Working Man. This, I don't know if it was because I was in my mind, subconsciously comparing it to a Beekeeper, being as though we had a lot of pieces of that film, at least the filmmaking aspect of it, contributing to this film. It doesn't hold a candle to that movie. This movie was a video store, straight to video ripoff of The Equalizer, you know, the Denzel Washington, you know, the first one. And it tried to be that so much, but tried to twist it up a little bit with Jason Statham in it. And it just did not work. This was not the right vehicle for these talented, super uber talented filmmakers to come together and collaborate on. I don't know what the thinking was behind this movie. It was boring, man. I mean, I would have took a generic action film, but it wasn't that. It is a generic action film in its core, but they tried to make it more than what it was in a crazy way, and it just did not work. One of the reasons is, can we stop? Can we stop putting Jason Statham in these movies where he is quote unquote an average dude, but come to find out that he is highly trained by special forces, and you know, this unstoppable killing machine and all this here. uh, is getting old. Actually has gotten old. It just does not work for Jason Statham. It's, we've seen it. It was good for what it was when he was first doing it, but now it's the same generic trope every single movie. Jason Statham, he's a working man. He works construction. Oh, he's lives out of his truck, brushing his teeth in the on the steering wheel and all this other stuff, and he just goes to work. But there's layers to him because he's this former super highly trained operative who is a one-man killing machine and can take down governments on his own. It's like, man, come on, man. It's the same thing, it's just like the beekeeper. The beekeeper follows the same blueprint, but it was more, you know and trust me, the beekeeper was not a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination, but at least it was entertaining. This was not. It was boring. The villains were just generic, it was nothing but henchmen, just henchmen, and no substance at all. There was no development of the villains at all. Just insert big bad here and all this. Yeah. It was nothing to really fear as far as your protagonist. Your protagonist was going up against nothing but little underlings, and it was no real serious threat to him. Nobody that would really challenge him throughout the film. There was no challenges for Jason Statham's character throughout this film. They did introduce one character who I guess would have been a good foe for him when we arrive at the climax, but that felt like a wet fart. You know what I'm saying? It was just bleh. It was bleh. But I will say this: if I had seen this movie on Prime or Netflix, I probably wouldn't have batted an eye. This probably would have ranked higher. It would have got a better grade than what I'm about to give it. But being as though they had the audacity to put this in theaters, I gotta rank it low because this is not a theatrical experience at all. I mean, I will say this: Jason Statham, I enjoyed him, but he's the same as he was in any other movie. If you come in here thinking you're going to get a different side of Jason Statham, you're going to get your feelings hurt because he's Jason Statham. He's the same. He's the. This is the same character from the Transporter. This is the same character from Hobbs and Shaw. This is the same character from The Beekeeper. This is the same character from Meg. He's the same in every single movie. That ain't a knock. I'm not knocking Jason Statham because I actually like Jason Statham. The only time Jason Statham will blow your mind is when he pops up in a comedy. Like I've seen him. What was that with Melissa McCarthy? Was it Spy? I think it was Spy. He was awesome in that movie because he was a completely different person than what we normally see him as. Funny, I mean, hilarious in that movie. He actually stole the movie, if you ask me. But other than that, no. Or if you put him in a Guy Ritchie film, Guy Ritchie knows how to work with Jason Statham. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna say he's mailing it in, but he's just the same guy in every single film, and it's gotten old. I want to see something different. I want to see him get beat up. I want to see him in peril. But we don't get to see him in movies or films like that. And it's just, who wants to pay their money to see it? The end result. But the rest of the cast, it was a waste. It was a complete waste. Michael Pena, man, what is going on, bro? The dude is phenomenal. And he was in like three scenes, and two of them he was just crying, so he was useless. David Harbour is a beast, man. He is a national treasure, and his character was very interesting. The backstory, the setup for his character was very, very interesting, and we got nothing. They introduced him, and he was relegated to a babysitter. Ah, this movie it disappointed me on so many levels. The only positives I have, Jason Statham, he wasn't bad. Like I said, I wasn't knocking him for that long speech that I gave. That wasn't a knock. It was cool. If you're a Jason Statham fan and you love what he does, this is the movie for you. He is who he is, and I did enjoy him. I'm a fan, and so I did enjoy him. But as far as the rest of the movie, nothing else. The action was fine. It was some good fight scenes in here, but like I said, nothing to wow you, nothing to blow your mind. It was just Jason Statham beating the piss out of people, and that was that. That was that. So I must say, for a movie I had not too not too high of I did have a level of expectation, being as though I was over the moon for the Beekeeper. I was expecting at least up to that, or at least close to it, and this didn't get that close, and I'm a little disappointed by that standard. A Working Man, starring Jason Statham, gets a letter grade of a D plus. Yeah, it's disappointing, very disappointing, and it's disappointing that we've arrived to the month of April, and 2025 has not been banging, man. I have yet to see a film that floored me. Nothing that has been released this year so far has just set the bar for me, as far as, all right, this is the movie. Somebody got to come and top this one. Nothing. I've seen a couple of good movies. Wolfman was pretty good. I can't think of nothing else. And that says it all. And you've had a lot of movies to come out in the last 3 months, but it's just nothing to wow me. The good news is we got a couple of months before summer hits, and we got a lot of movies coming out this summer. So maybe it'll turn around, but normally around this time of the year, the quality of film starts to pick up a little bit, and it does draw a little concern. But we're only 3 months in, so it is a lot of year left in 2025. So fingers crossed. But A Working Man did not work for me. I would like to know, what did you think of A Working Man? Do you think I'm off base? Did you enjoy A Working Man? That's fine if you did. I would love to know your opinions. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for this show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Also, don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of A Working Man. Want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.